All right, you guys get it early. Your criticism sucks. Now, as you can see in the clip right here, what I'm going to talk about is the prospect of game bugs. As you can see, with Marvel Spider-Man 2, the civilian and Spider-Man clearly fell through the map. That is funny. That is hilarious to me, right? But there's this giant controversy, or should I say nontroversy again, because you know, as the Twitter pundits go on about conversations, the conversation came up about the idea of Spider-Man being the most buggiest game in PS5 history of all time. Now, going back to the original Marvel Spider-Man for PS4, that game was also riddled with some game bugs in my playthrough. In this one, Marvel Spider-Man 2, after playing it for like literally 8 hours on live stream, I managed to get some game bugs as well and see them visualize before me. But you know how I am. Every PlayStation game that I play always bugs out to some degree, whether it's modern, kind of classic, whatever. I find a game bug somewhere. My philosophy is that I always found game bugs to be funny like this. Visual game bugs, it don't matter. It could be Cyberpunk, it could be Starfield, it could be Spider-Man 2, it don't matter. Visual game bugs in an open world game are hilarious to me and almost kind of expected. When I see an open world game bug out, I almost expect it because of the scope of the game, the nature, everything. I'm pretty sure you can even find bugs in Red Dead Redemption 2. No matter how polished that game is, someone out there probably already broke it. If there is a low frequency amount of game bugs where you're like falling through the map, or you hit restart, you get stuck somewhere, or a civilian is like T-posing and it's quite funny, you know, take pictures of it, take clips, etc. But it's almost expected because, once again, an open world game, you go into there, a lot of mechanics are going on, a lot of things in the background to keep that world maintained. 99% of the time, I'm gonna figure something is amiss, something's gonna go wrong. If I walk in a certain location, walk on some rocks, it's gonna fucking freak out, and I know this. However, that does not deter the enjoyment of the game if it is not crucial, critical, game-breaking bugs. And I think that's the problem here with people making all these comparisons to Spider-Man 2 and Redfall. I'll say it again, Spider-Man 2 and Redfall. And I simply said this, you know, I'll make this argument easier for you. The game on the left is bad. The game on the right is good. It does not take away from that quality experience if you have a couple of game bugs on your playthrough. And then we go back to user experience. Some people are not getting game bugs on Spider-Man 2. So they're not in my situation, they're not in my shoes. I had that happen before, and vice versa. Some people got game bugs in certain games that I played, and I didn't get them. Then on the other hand, I got game bugs and other people did not get those game bugs. It's all based on user experience. Now, sometimes it can align in the middle, and then both of the experiences are shit. Case in point, some of the launch details from Cyberpunk, while people did enjoy that game, I bashed that game because it was relatively incomplete. They were taking out features left and right. The game was far too ambitious, and I'm not surprised that it launched the way it did, to the point where you had to wait 3 years for the game to finally fix every single nook and cranny. Spider-Man 2 is not doing that. I can at least say Spider-Man 2 is a feature complete game with visual game bugs that harkens back to the first one, Spider-Man Miles Morales, etc. Now, am I saying game bugs are justified? Of course not. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying, depending on the frequency and how they occur and what to expect in an open world game, it's common knowledge you're going to see something bug out eventually, even in the old GTAs. People praise those games. GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, and those games still have the ocean collapsing through the floor. if you're on the road. And it's quite funny, it's quite comical, right? But it doesn't detract from the experience. That experience is still super solid with the story, the characters. You just might see something hitch out on occasion. And if you're really looking for it in any open world game, like I saw people having Peter on his bike and getting on the subway where you're not supposed to be, it's a no zone area, is going to freak out because you're not supposed to be up there. In places where you don't belong. And here's the thing about game bugs, right? Visual stuff is fine, it's funny, it's stupid, as long as I can restart checkpoint and continue, it's fine. You see motherfuckers praising Skyrim and shit like that. I'm pretty sure that had like a ton of game bugs, still got a high score. It happens. That stuff happens. But if it's a critical game breaking error where the game does not work, the game does not function, your missions don't work, your activities don't work, the game constantly crashes over and over again, it's just basically an impractical mess, then at that point the game is systematically broken. And we need to understand the difference between systematically broken game and a game that has like a few funny visual glitches where Spider-Man's arms go up his ass. That's it for this video. I just wanted to sort of talk about it and say my ultimate expression. And I think that people like Peter Ovo are mentally unwell. They're complete unstable morons if they've been talking about this for hours and hours and hours and they don't understand the difference. Everyone makes fun of visual game bugs. I understand that. Even I'm laughing at that shit in Spider-Man 2. But is it detracting from the experience where I'm mostly enjoying the game, I'm having fun with the game? No. And the same thing goes for, oh, well, it's too short at 15 hours. I think I'm gonna replay this once again when New Game Plus comes out. And even I roasted them for saying, well, New Game Plus is not in the game, so that is a problem. Most Sony exclusives are doing that. No New Game Plus, where is it? However, doesn't detract my experience. I'm still super enjoying it, but I'm saying, like, stuff like Cyberpunk took forever to really iron out and complete and finish and fix all these issues, and that was worse. That was a worse sort of thing where like Sony delisted the game from their platform because it was just advertised falsely. It wasn't working. It wasn't in a functional state to be on that store with that advertising, so they pulled the game. Now it's fine. Now you finally got your fully complete version of Cyberpunk. Now it's fine. At least for Spider-Man 2, I can see, I could basically say all their features now, the only thing they're missing is New Game Plus. That's it. Mostly it's a complete game. We have to understand the difference between game-breaking bug, systematic game-breaking bug, and then bugs where it's like, okay, something glitches out, this is funny, that's it. It doesn't go beyond or further than that if this happens and still your missions work, or you try to jump in the same spot again and the same thing does not occur. That's what's been happening to me. I don't swing through every building. It doesn't happen twice. And as long as that doesn't happen, that's fine. This still is fire, by the way. I think this is being weaponized as a smear campaign from the Xbox extremists just because folks were also actively mocking Starfield, and that's also to be expected. Big interplanetary RPG with open world elements. I expect people to glitch out, and plus, it's Bethesda. Bethesda was known as Bugthesda for the longest time. They are known for having bugs in their game. They were infamously called Bugthesda. I expected glitches to be displayed and demonstrated in Starfield, and I remember their statements of saying, well, Starfield is going to be a game that has less glitches in it. They actively made a statement and we already knew what to expect. That's what I think. So here's the thing, and Mr. Peter Ovo, you are just, you need to touch grass, man. You are a freaking loser. You are a freaking loser. Because you've been trying to put out this sort of hate campaign for like hundreds of hours over shit we already knew. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously, dude, you have a mental nuke stuck in your head like one of those Crash Bandicoot characters. Like, something is seriously wrong with you. Here's the thing though, like Spider-Man 2, you could compare it to Redfall, Starfield, whatever. Spider-Man 2 is going to be more remembered because more people seem to be actively enjoying it, bugs or not. And here's the thing, it's not a perfect gaming world in terms of open world games. It is not a perfect gaming world. You're going to see common bugs, you're going to see rare bugs for visualization. It's not a perfect world. Do you want a game that is highly refined, mostly polished, has competent combat? Do you want that game, but the trade-off is you would see a low frequency of visual bugs, maybe hit a mission restart or two? Or do you want a game that is good, but systematically broken in every stretch of the way, where the developers, they have to constantly fix the game over and over and reassure you, the viewer, that the patches are coming, everything's coming. We're gonna get the game to a very playable state. We're gonna No Man's Sky this shit. You see the potential in the gameplay, you see it there, it is there. But the game prevents you from progressing and moving on because the developers just had a problem at launch and you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, but you have to wait like 3 years in order to do it. Do you want your instant gratification now, or do you want it way later when the game is at launch and at the worst state it could possibly be in because the missions don't work? You know which one I'm taking. If I had to take anything, it's always going to be the former, not the latter. Anyway, this is Renegade Operative signing off. What do you guys think of the video? In my personal opinion, I think relatively minor bugs, relatively minor visual hitches and glitches are small potatoes and kind of common in open world games. I'm not really frustrated about this. Spider-Man 2 has been a wonderful experience so far, and just because I had like Peter's head glitch out or someone's head glitch out for a little bit doesn't mean that I'm not relatively enjoying the game because of relatively minor visual bugs. That has happened in a lot of games that I've played, seen, witnessed, and experienced, whether it's linear, open world, any type of game whatsoever. There's the possibility, and especially PlayStation games, there's the possibility I've seen bugs in Sony exclusives and I still can enjoy them. Unfortunately though, other people cannot because they think relatively small bug or minor visual hiccup means the whole game is bad, and honestly that's not fair at all. I think that is a bad faith argument for real. Unless it's systematically broken, shut the fuck up.